the best 360-degree action camera just got better. 2020 flavor, a colorful display, and a lot of great new features, and the exceptional image quality of Insta360. That's right! Time to inspect. Welcome, Tech Pro channel. My name is Michael, and I'm so happy to see you here on the channel. And that feels a little bit weird. Feels like you're looking into my hand. Well, I'm holding the invisible selfie stick of the Insta360 One X2. And yes, say hi to the wonderful world of panoramic action cameras. Shooting this with the 360-degree Insta360 One X2, the latest and greatest from the Chinese company, which happens to be the new generation of probably the best panoramic action camera. And that's a quick vlogging test just to give you an idea about the image stabilization, the sharpness, the contrast, the colors. That is being shot with the normal color mode, but I have shot a lot of footage with the vivid color mode, and also the microphones, which are supposed to be way better because now we use ambisonic mic. 360 cameras have never become as mainstream as some people have expected, but on the other side, the market and the time have filtered only the best. I can comfortably say that Insta360 have established themselves as the company with the best panoramic cameras on the market, something like GoPro is in the area of regular action cams. In fact, after the huge success of the One R series, I was a little surprised to see the X2 so soon, and I'm taking the opportunity to thank Insta360 for choosing me to be part of their early testers and adopters for the X2. So yeah, I got the unit from Insta360 themselves, however the video is not influenced by them, and I have the freedom to say anything that I like or not about the model. Before talking about the hardware and the software, let's mention the closest competitors. GoPro Max, of course, the only really serious device to compete with the One X series, however with different form factor, color science, workflow and price. The real question is whether the $429 that Insta360 are asking for the One X2 are well justified, so let's go into the hardware section. Unboxing feels good. Great presentation, nice looking pack, up to the high standards of the company. To us, consumers, the much more important part is the content on the inside. Still, here's the beautifully crafted One X2, charging cables and papers including the quick start guide, the carrying pouch, and that's pretty much it. You can certainly upgrade the usability a lot through accessories. Invisible selfie stick with add-on for bullet time is one of my favorites. Well, to be honest, I recently lost my bullet time stick. There also are ways to mount it on a drone or other crazy places. This kind of camera is designed to shoot from crazy angles, so make sure to equip it with the best possible way to fulfill that task. And because it's a 360-degree camera and the lenses are very wide and also literally causing a bump on top of the sides, we need lens covers. The lenses are protected with good glass, but I promise you the first impact with the ground or any other solid object, they will get nice fat scratches, so make sure to get these lens protectors. I really appreciate the fact that GoPro give them for free with the Hero Max and was hoping that Insta360 will do that with the X2, but no. Tech specs: super wide-angle lenses with 35mm equivalent focal length of 7.2mm, an f/2.0 aperture, inside Umbrella H22 chipset, image sensors which are 1/2.3 inches, 1630 mAh battery, which is a huge bump on top of the previous generation, 149 grams weight, a new circled color display to actually see what you're shooting, ISO up to 3200, the 6-axis gyroscope, and the 1/4-inch threaded mount at the bottom. The bits, which are not so obvious, phenomenal build quality with most of the parts on the body being done out of metal. Also, being waterproof without a case, so finally you can enjoy windsurfing and diving, but not deeper than 10 meters. The only piece of information I couldn't find on time is the exact image sensors used. Might be a new model compared to the previous generation because there's a visible improvement. One of the really great ideas is this swappable battery. Attaching and detaching works similar to the DJI Osmo Action, and admirations for the big capacity and the options to be replaceable. The display is also a nice add-on, small but good enough to help you position yourself in the frame if you prefer to film in the so-called Steadicam mode. Now, the hardware is superb, utilizes high-end solutions. Despite the fact it still is based on the very same processor as the previous generation, GoPro, for instance, uses their homegrown GP1 processor for 4th consecutive generation already, so that's not too uncommon. With the One X2, more interesting is the setup and the features. With a display, it's much easier to do the configuration right. I never got used to the way scrolling works on the One R, their other kind of action camera, but it seems to be rather fine over here. Supported resolutions are up to 5.7K, 30 FPS, so we don't notice any improvement on that aspect either. I was hoping for 8K, but considering the slowdown that COVID-19 has forced, the lack of such doesn't surprise me. The closest to slow motion frame rate is 100 FPS, so that's also the same as it used to be with the X1. Very important is to explain how you can record videos with this camera. Option 1, you can use the Steadicam mode, insane stabilization, and it makes a video in MP4 format that you can watch right away. The other option is to use the regular recording, which will capture the footage in the INSV format. This is the proprietary Insta360 format. I'm a big fan because it captures the video footage as well as the information from the motion sensors. When you parse it through the smartphone app or the PC software, you're gonna see the amazing job that the flow state stabilization does. Also, the rest of the features that the AI-powered app has are fantastic. You can select an object to be tracked, you can create crazy angles and add keyframes, add effects, play around with the colors, adjust the audio, and apply even some filters. There are a bunch of useful shooting modes for creators, starting with pure shot. Look at that! The feature is so easy to use. You switch to photo mode and the option is at the top of the display. Best practice, in my opinion, is setting the timer for photos to be at 3 seconds, so that you can lift up the camera, make sure that you're not going to be part of the photo if you don't want to. Gives you the time to position the camera and stand still. Low light photos, shot with this mode, are amazing. I would never believe it's done by such a small camera. It extracts info from the DNG files and brings the benefits of HDR with one single shot. There's also the popular panorama mode and the weirdly popular these days cloning options called Shadow Clone over here. I've recently tested such a feature with the latest Mi 10T Pro flagship, but with the One X2, it's the 360 variation. The fly lapse is also brilliant, feels as if you're flying with FPV drone, and that's crazy good. If you want to track something or someone in the footage, all you have to do is to highlight the objects and the software does it automatically for you. I wish Adobe finally get to implement such a thing in their professional video editing pack, but that's another topic. Not only these great features, but using the app you can have the camera being a webcam, even good for live streaming, so that's quite an interesting opportunity and will attract gamers, casters and so on. To be fair, the real deal about the X2 is exactly the software. The smartphone app has gone a long way and there are lots of awesome predefined templates which can make the footage so exciting and fun to watch and is at the moment way more powerful than the Mac OS or the Windows PC software. For instance, look at this fly lapse. I'm just moving forward and the software does the rest. Or star lapse, or the night lapse, or multi-view, another favorite option. This will be great for vloggers. In fact, it's super easy to make picture-in-picture now, whereas you can frame yourself and something in front of you, and you can adjust in real time using the tiny screen on the camera itself. It's just a tap away. So is the feature to get into action cam mode. If you want to film in super wide angle, wider even than GoPro, with max resolution of 1440p, you can do that without going through 5 different menu settings, tap and done. Pretty awesome. Good. After so much praising, sure, I do have my list with improvement suggestions and complaints, but before all that, no way not to say out loud that battery life is brilliant. Feels like you can shoot way longer than with most action cams. Insta360 say 80 minutes are possible for the highest resolution, but looks like you can squeeze even more out of the battery. Now, the bad. The X2 is not great about slow motion. Weirdly, you can hardly find a mode shooting at more than 100 frames per second. That was a little disappointing to me, but I can well understand that here the processor might be the bottleneck. Also, HDR, while being supported, continues to be only up to 25 FPS. Hopefully someday with an update it's gonna get up to 30 frames per second. I had some freezing issues with the early beta versions of the software. The One X firmware is already rock solid, so I'm pretty sure this will take 1 or 2 update cycles until it gets there. On the hardware end, I hate the lack of lens protectors, and Insta360 should think about including them with the package. Such a great build quality deserves to be well protected. So, if you want to hear now about my genuine opinion about the qualities of the One X2, it's a meaningful replacement of the predecessor, costs almost the same as the first generation, and on a hardware level, better build quality, larger battery, colorful display for reference, and the new ambisonic microphone setup together with slightly better image sensors, but I'm not absolutely sure about the last one. And what matters the most, the perfect synergy between hardware and software, whereas the smartphone app is the true power horse, giving you the chance to unleash the creativity of your mind. So I see the One X2 as a fantastic way to be creative and to capture footage from insane angles. In short, this could have easily been named One X Pro, but even labeled as X2, I'm happy enough with the upgrades, and I believe this is the easiest to use, the best looking and performing, and generally the most advanced panoramic action camera ever designed. And no, I'm not neglecting the GoPro Max, which is of course a great device, but in slightly different category in my opinion. More info and link to the devices shown during the review as usual you're going to find in the description below the video. So what do you think? Are 360-degree cameras of any interest to you? And how do you find the footage quality of the One X2 so far? Let's talk! Comments below are a great place to discuss. If you want to see more cool tech videos, hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it are the shortest path, and concerning the rest, stay safe, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers!